What's going on, Port fans? Welcome back to another video on my channel, and today we're going to be previewing this week's clash against St Kilda. Port Adelaide travelling to Marvel Stadium at this stage of recording. Now I must remind you there's been a lockdown for Melbourne apparently announced. There's been border restrictions in place and no more travelling to Victoria, so this game could be played anywhere between now and Saturday night. It's going to be a very interesting week on the selection table. It's all happening at the moment, and this, at the end of the day, is a big game for Port Adelaide, so and big game for St Kilda as well. So let's get straight into this preview because it's a massive one. Speaking football purely for the moment, is a massive game for Port Adelaide, as I said, looking to keep in touch with the top four. It's a big game in a sense. We've come off a loss to Melbourne. We've had an 8-day break. Players should be refreshed. We're ready to go, and we're coming up against a St Kilda side that's in pretty good nick at the moment. They won 3 on the trot, and they've beaten a pretty damn good Brisbane side last week. So this game is very much a danger game. St Kilda looking to stay in touch with the top 8. And you know what? If it is played at Marvel Stadium, I am a little bit worried because St Kilda do seem to play us quite well there. We haven't played St Kilda. We haven't played them in Melbourne for such a long time now that it feels a bit weird to be travelling there, and even yet we still might not even play them there. So it's going to be a massive Saturday night football. It's a big game as well because if we drop this one, we're back in the pack. You know, we're really testing the limits and pushing the boundaries of what we can do this year if we lose this week. And finishing 5th or 6th will give us some sort of hope, having a home final, and we're doing it the hard way. If we do it, finish top 4, and then there's every chance that we can travel somewhere and beat one of the fellow top 4 sides. We haven't beaten a top 4 side this year, obviously, but things can change in 6 weeks, and that's the hope I'm holding out for. No point dwelling on what has happened. We're just got to focus on what we can do from here. 6 weeks to go. Must win at least 5 of the 6 games to give us any chance of top 4. And it's a tough ask. It's a tough 6 weeks. You know, we play St Kilda, then we got Collingwood on a Friday night next week, then the week after GWS, and then the week after that's the showdown. And then we got Carlton at home and the Western Bulldogs. They're not very easy games. They're games against bottom 10 sides that we should win, but they're not going to be easy games. And with a St Kilda outfit that's in some fine form at the moment, playing away from home, you know, it's a trip that can galvanise us and keep us together and really push St Kilda, and really, you know, we should be favourites. We should be going into this confident, but when us fans aren't. It's a big week for the midfield, especially because we were beaten around the contest last week against the D's. It's one of the more important factors of our game. If we win the contest, get it inside 50, we can lock it down. It's been like that for a couple of years. It has worked. It worked in 2020. But with the ever-changing defensive systems that teams seem to have, locking it down isn't as easy. And teams are piercing through our gaps. And our defensive mindset has to be tight. It has to be structured. And we're not doing that at the moment. And especially from the midfield point of view, they're getting it out too easily. And when they go inside 50, it's too easy on the lead. There's no pressure on the ball carrier. And we do it the hard way. We've been doing it the hard way for so long that we work our ass off to kick goals. But when the opposition kick goals, it's easy. It's you know, clearance, kick inside 50, mark on the lead, or contested mark, or it's a crumb goal. You know, it's never been the hard way. And when they do transition, they cut us up coming through, and it's up to our defence to shut it down. And sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. When it comes to looking at last Thursday night's game, we were just cut up all over the place, and we brought our game in spurts. And we've been saying it every week, we're looking for a 4-quarter performance. And I don't know when it's going to happen, but we can't keep relying on that 1 quarter of football to set us up. So we have to have that 2, 3, 4-quarter performance. And I say 2 when you play a game against a team like St Kilda, who can be hit and miss. They are in good form at the moment, but if you can get them on the jump and put them 3, 4, 5 goals down and have another good quarter and then keep it steady or break even, then I think we're going to hold them off. But you have a 4-quarter performance where you absolutely put it to the sword, then St Kilda, a team like them, they're not going to keep up with Port. And it's as simple as that. On paper, playing the game, doing these things, doing the little things right, and trying to pierce through these gaps, and, you know, going inside 50, looking for different options. The 3rd quarter last week was a special example because Carl Amon had the ball inside 50. It was a 2-on-1, Georgiadis being the one, and he kicked the ball perfectly to his advantage. 2-on-1 doesn't matter if you have balls inside 50 like that. So we've got to be getting our good ball carriers, our good deliverers inside 50, giving them as many chances as possible. Carl Amon has one of the best legs in the game when it comes to inside 50. The scrubby kick going forward into a pack, it's not going to work. They're going to clear it away, and those shallow entries at that 35, 40 metre mark, they're worthless inside 50s. That's why our percentage last week was 38% going inside 50 for scores, because we just didn't have that. And I really do feel like we're missing Robbie Gray, because the way he is able to score involve in plays and create opportunities, it goes unnoticed, and I think his score involvements are so crucial. I think Boak's not having as many score involvements. Our midfield needs to get involved more on the scoreboard. You can bank Ollie Wines in for a goal every now and then, but it needs to be more. There needs to be more. There needs to be the craft there. And we needed Zach Butters, and he came into the side. He was good in spurts, and he's an animal. But now he's going back out the side, and who do you bring in? That's the thing. You reshuffle your team. You've got options to bring in, but nothing really works as well as having that craft player like Butters. And I think now more than anything, we need someone like that Hamish Hartlett to come in. He's been good form in the last couple of weeks in the SNFL. I don't want to see anyone brought in like a Bonner or a Woodcock, because they're just worthless selections. And I'm not saying they're bad players, but they're just not up to the scratch when you come into the side, and you've got to replace them with that calibre. So I'd rather restructure the side than bringing in a replacement that's not going to do as good as the job. And I think this week as well, with St Kilda having Marshall and Ryder, the two ruck combo that have been one of the best in the last month, Laddams probably needs to come in. I wouldn't mind giving Sam Hayes a run. Scotty Lysette, Sam Hayes, the two ruck duo, they're heavy players, but they'll do the job. And I think we're just getting beat up in the ruck a little bit. And I'm not saying Lysette's a bad ruckman. I'm just saying other ruckmen seem to be a bit more craftier with their tap work and their positioning. Lysette's that ball. He gets in. He's good on his feet. He's good around the ground. But in the middle, it's just carving us up. So I wouldn't mind a tap ruckman like Hayes, but I could understand bringing in a Laddams for an opportunity to really break down the Marshall Ryder combo, because it would work a lot better. It would not put so much pressure on Lysette. We can attack more with Dixon staying deep instead of putting him to the ruck every now and then. O'Leary is our best defender. I don't want to see him anywhere near the ruck. That's something that our selection table's got to be questioning, and I hope they do go with two rucks this week. Two changes, Hartlett in, and then Laddams or Hayes in, one of the two rucks there, and then you drop a couple to come out because Butters is going to go out. Maybe a Burton or something like that comes out as well. Although Burton was good last week, maybe does someone like a Mackenzie come out of that big ruck duo, or Leanett comes out of the side, because with 2-2, otherwise we bring in two ruckmen and those five. So I think one of those will come out, and it could possibly be a defender. So they're my two changes. That's what I think. I think if we win the ruck contest, or at least break even, and then we bring the contest at ground level with our midfielders, and then dominate the inside 50 territory, the game, if it is at Marvel, it'll be dry, so it might benefit us as well. But wouldn't mind it played in Perth due to those restrictions and stuff like that. I think it would work better just because St Kilda, and I'm just looking out as a fixture point of view, not saying it's going to benefit either side, because it's unfortunate, because I don't want St Kilda to lose a home game because of these lockdowns and everything that's happening. So I wouldn't mind it played in Perth though, because then St Kilda can maybe hub in Perth for a little while, because they do play West Coast next week there, and then Port Adelaide can come back, play Collingwood next Friday night, and hopefully this variant and this period of lockdown is passed by next week, because normally it comes and it goes within days. So it's been a very interesting turn of events in the last 48 hours. Be interesting to see what the AFL does with the fixturing and everything like that, and what this game brings this weekend. But I'm looking forward to it nonetheless. An opportunity for Port to put away a side that's in good form, and it's not one of those games where you play 15th place side. It's going to be a scrappy contest. You get the job done. We're all happy with 4 points. I think beating St Kilda this week might just have a little bit more merit because of the form they're in, and also the opportunity we have to maybe a team like a Geelong might slip up to Fremantle, or Brisbane might lose to Richmond because of Jack's 300th game. Anything can happen with all the upsets happening. So I think we need to be on, and if we can make the opportunity possible, maybe a Geelong, like I said, does lose to Freo, Brisbane lose to Richmond, and we're just all of a sudden back in the game. So we've got to be on from the outset. Well, that's it, Paw fans. That is my preview for this week's game against St Kilda. Let me know in the comments below what you're thinking about this one. It's going to be interesting. I look forward to seeing it Saturday night, and also the next week's fixture Friday night against Collingwood. Super game, Boak's 300th. So tune in for next week, because it's going to be a big celebration of Travis Boak's 300th game career so far. And the week after we play GWS away. So they're the two fixtures for the coming weeks. But everything's changing at the moment, so we'll just wait and see. But the other thing I don't want to change is you guys, your support's been absolutely phenomenal as of late. We're on our way to 4,000 subscribers, so if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next video. My name is Anthony, and as always, come on, pair.